all good things come to an end, especially when you're building something great. Yo, what's good, family? It's your boy MJ here at MJ the Greatest on all platforms, back with this week's episode. Huge shout out to y'all for the likes, the comments, the subscribing, the love, the sharing, the reposting. Any way you show love, continue to show love. Thank y'all so much. Let's just get right into it, man. This is the story, the reasoning, the thought process behind why I ended my clothing brand after 5 years. And honestly, y'all, just the thick of it is, it was time for something new. I had kind of told it and hinted at this change coming to like some friends and like some people. I even put like some messages out on social media, like in October, the 5-year anniversary, the brand's gonna be coming to an end. And you know, I was getting a lot of questions and people were like, you know, wondering if I was like done with clothing or wondering like why and all the different stuff. So this episode is to explain that. But the first thing the most simple way I can put it, and how I like told my friends and people like that knew already, I felt like I squeezed all the juice out of that lemon that was dirty broke that I could. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I wrung it dry. I wrung the rag dry. Like, I got every ounce of juice and every ounce of everything that I felt like was cool and I thought was dope out of that. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that as me seeing myself continuing in clothing, in fashion, that wasn't the vehicle that I was gonna be driving or moving under. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it wasn't really mine's. So now we gotta kind of get into it, right? We gotta really like slice into this and like dig deep and get into it. So y'all know my very first video ever posted on this channel is like, what is Dirty Broke? Dirty Broke is my first ever clothing brand. Dirty Broke is the first time I ever thought about starting a clothing brand, having a business, running a brand, any of those type of things like that. Because those thoughts, and I speak on this a lot, like those thoughts never came into my head before. So Dirty Broke is something that I started 5 years ago. But part of the backstory that you guys really don't have is that it didn't just start with me. When Dirty Broke started, well, actually it started before me. The phrase, the terminology, the saying, the slang that is Dirty Broke, and I'm not gonna get into what it means or what it means to me. Go back and watch my first video. Like I said, it might not be the best video, but it breaks down all the stuff that I may not mention here. Anyway, this was already a thing, right? These were my friends. This was our friend group. That was something we referred to, right? Dirty Broke. I was with another friend and we were just chilling, you know, having a good time, listening to some music, and the idea of starting a clothing brand just came to me. And Dirty Broke was the name at the time that just was at the forefront. Like that was the mission at the time. Like that's what type of time we was really on at that time. So it made perfect sense, and we was all like fashionable, doing our thing, like really kind of look at it like on some like low level, like our future kind of style. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had the people that could dress, we had people that make music, we had people that like skateboarded, and like that was kind of like our group, you know what I'm saying? And I loved clothing and I love fashion. So I was like, okay, this is what I can bring and contribute to the group, right? As y'all know, with most groups, look at our future now, it's really hard to like manage all of those egos, all of those agendas, all of those ideas. You know what I'm saying? When you bring a lot of creative people together, everybody's gonna have their own idea of how this should look versus how that should look versus how this should go versus what design should make it versus what design shouldn't make it. This is how we should release this. This is how we shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's literally too many cooks in the kitchen, and two things that happen when that happens. You either get nothing done or you end up burning everything that you do try to make. So pretty early on when we started, it was about 6 or 7 of us. I'm not trying to be funny either, but it was about 6 or 7 of us when we originally started. And basically how it went was, I came up with the name, I came up with the idea, the plan, etc. And I instantly that day, like, I cooked up like 3 or 4 designs, stuff that I thought was like dope and cool, and they agreed, like, you know, like, this is hard. So we pulled money pretty much, like the 5 or 6 of us put our money together and said, like, we gonna come together and make this happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all believed in the vision at the time. It was strong. We came together and we did. We made it happen. We had our first drop. It went great. Like, we had a good photo shoot. Like, it was dope. Like, in my mind, we were well on our way to becoming like the next Odd Future, the next, you know, whatever, ASAP Mob. Like, we were like, I saw that in my mind. But the problem is, sometimes, most times, people don't always have the same vision or shared vision, or don't see the same potential for something that you see, right? And I started very early on quickly noticing that, like, I was just like 10 times more passionate about clothing and fashion and marketing and selling and modeling. I was way more passionate about this stuff than my other friends. But like, I was cool with that because, like I said a little bit ago, I was like, okay, like, this is what I can bring and contribute to the group. You still do your music over there. You still do your, you know, your writing and recording over there. You still do your editing over there. And we bring this all in, and we make like a super group, right? But like, that's not what happened, right? All of a sudden, everybody wanted to be the clothing. Like, everybody wanted to do clothing. And I'm like, you know, that, like, that's cool, right? But like, if I know that, like, I've always been the most fashionable one, if I know I've always been the one that's been into fashion, if I know I've always been the one that's been into modeling and have experience marketing and like design, like, if I know that these are all the things that directly correlate to stuff that I've done and am passionate about, of course I'm gonna want to lead it, especially when it was my idea, right? But keep in mind, like, my thought was always that this was gonna be a group. We were always gonna help each other, bounce ideas out. Like, I love the fact and idea of like a creative group, or like a group of creatives coming together, bouncing off ideas, executing, putting things out into the world. Like, that is like a dream to me. But like I said, like, when you're the most passionate person, when you're the one that's always like looking to put forth the money, when you're the one that's always looking forth to putting yourself out there, taking opportunities, taking risks, and you look around and it's like the number of people that are actually with you is kind of like dwindling down. At some point, you got to just say, like, at what point is this like our thing, or when is it just like my thing, right? And probably about 6 months to a year, I could kind of just see that it was more just like my thing. I could see that it was not everybody's passion, especially if they weren't like the one controlling and driving the wheel of the boat, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, but it's just like, if I know that you don't have any expertise in that area, I'm not gonna be comfortable letting you lead that. Like, I'm just, and me, like, even with like my collaborations and everything like that, like, I'm super hands-on with everything. It doesn't mean that I can't like take the back seat and chill, or that I always need credit or anything like that. But it's like, if something that's going out with my name on it and it's like my creative thought process, I need to be included in that, right? I have to be that. Like, that's just like, as a creator, I have to be included in my creations. Like, that just like seems obvious, right? So like I said, 6 months to a year, I kind of just started to notice, like, you know, these are still my boys, we were still friends, we were still cool, but I just realized that, like, my level of intensity, passion, care was just like way higher than theirs. And that's cool, right? But like, then like the help starts to like disappear. Then like the support doesn't become as loud as it once was at a time. And so basically, yeah, from after that first year, aside from like my friends that I have like helping me out and stuff like that, it was probably like 1 or 2 people from that original 6 or 7 that was like still hands-on, still on board, still helping me out in a capacity, you know. On to year 2, 3, and 4, it was just me, you know what I'm saying? And the support that I get like from you guys, my friends, my family, etc., and me going out and putting myself out there, going to different trade shows, markets, etc. Like, it was me. Like, it was just me. And what I started to realize was that I was kind of fighting like this very, very, very uphill battle, right? Because one, I'm working with a name that I didn't really, like, I chose it, but like, I didn't create this. Like, this was a thing before me. And like I said in one of my posts, I'm like, this will be a thing after me. Like, people can still say it. I still want people to wear the clothes because like, I'm not like ashamed of the clothes. But just in having a vision of where I know I can take it, of how talented I feel that I am, I knew that that name was ultimately holding me back. Because I can't begin to explain to you guys how many times I had to explain to people what it means, why it is that, or just like people's face when they hear it. Like, I might have the most dopest piece sitting in front of you, but like once you hear what the brand name is, you're kind of instantly like, you turned off, right? And I didn't want that to happen anymore, right? I didn't want people who want to wear my stuff to have to like have a think piece every single time they like tell somebody what they're wearing or who they're wearing. I didn't want people to have to think about it, right? I want you to just be able to look at my stuff, be like, that's fire or that's not for me, and make the decision. I don't want you to have to think about, oh, well, what does that mean? I mean, my stuff is going to make you think, but it's not going to make you think about the name. Like, the name is just like, the name now is more sort of like a cherry on top of a nice sundae that you've been waiting all day for. It's not the cherry that you pick off and you throw off and you don't even ask for because you don't want the cherry. No, this is the cherry you might request 2 of. You know what I'm saying? So like, I wanted to set that standard to where you just look at the clothes and you know, like, okay, this is for me, or may not be, but that's the only hiccup. I didn't like having a hiccup for the name. To me, like I said, it was like, it was a crutch. You know what I'm saying? And I'm fighting this uphill battle, and I'm trying to push and I'm trying to tell people and do this and that, and it's like, it's too much, right? And I guess like another big thing of this too is like, it's okay to start over. It's okay to start over, right? Like, this isn't, when I put out that message that I was ending Dirty Broke, so many people hit me up with like sad messages like, oh man, I can't believe you're ending it. I can't believe that you stopping making clothes. What's going on, man? I love DB and all this and that. And I'm like, thank you. Like, but that brand is done. I'm not done. That brand is done. I'm just getting started. Because guess what? All the 5 years of experience and things that I went through in building DB, I now can easily just take those things and transfer that and apply that to my brand now. Everything that I learned, it didn't go to waste. It went in effort in building me up to be the leader, the creative, the artist that I am now, so that everything else that I do moving forward is that much more thought out, is that much more thoughtful, is that much more you know what I'm saying? So it's like, when I'm coming on here telling y'all like, yo, I got this, I got this, I got it. Like, I'm not saying that just to like brag or just to be like, oh, I'm just toot my own horn. Like, I literally have, in this past year, created some of the best work I've ever made. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I might tell you a joke, but I won't tell you a lie. And I wasn't able to get to that point without going through these past 5 years, right? Without having these interactions, without having all of these experiences, right? So I don't look at these last 5 years as a waste. I look at them as the fuel that I needed in order for me to get to where I'm at right now. Making some of the best work of my life. Feeling as in control as I've... If you go watch my first video, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I came up with a name, I downloaded the app, I made some designs, I cooked up, and I did it. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Now I know what I'm doing. Now I really know how to cook. Now I really know how, like, now I really got it. So, I'm just so excited. I actually announced my new brand last night. I want you guys to, I'm gonna leave a link for that page. It's for the Instagram page in my description. I want y'all to go check that out if y'all been following along for the clothing journey, or just kind of want to see my transition and how I got from this place to the next. I also mentioned to you guys that I'm writing a book. I can speak a little bit more on that now. The book is about finding yourself, knowing and understanding who you are, so that you can know and understand what it is that you want to do. That's the process I had to go through to figure out, what do I want my clothing brand to be? Not a group or collective of people that came together to make a brand. What do I actually like? Let me dial into what my interests are. Let me dial into what I actually like. Let me dial into my actual creative style. How will that look in the world? And I got it, y'all. I got it. And this is the same kind of knowledge that I want, not only you watching this, but I want as many people as possible to have this. So I'm putting the finishing touches on that book. I'm not gonna rush that, because I want that to come out correct and right, and I want it to be something that you can use for a lifetime, right? So I'm not rushing that, but I just want to put that little bug in y'all ear that I'm working on that, because I always get asked all the time, like, how did you think of that? How did you know that this is what you wanted to do? How did you? And I think the answer to all of those little things is first knowing yourself. So this book is going to be basically how I got to a point of really knowing myself. Exercises, practices, all in-depth everything. So that's in the works, and that's coming out soon. It's okay to start over, y'all, because guess what? You didn't unlearn all that stuff that you did all in 5 years, and some stuff you might have to unlearn. But you didn't learn any of that. All you did was add that to your bag. Now you can dig deeper in your bag, and you know what to do now. So if you ever been scared, frantic, didn't know if you needed to stop something, if you wanted to, my advice is stop before it's too late. Know when to say when, right? I knew when to say when. Yes, I love DB. I love every single person who bought DB. I will still wear my DB proudly. But all good things come to an end, especially when you're building something great. Peace out, y'all. Catch y'all next week. Love.